demonstrators at the Sheung rally, as they are calling it, are on the go, but not to their planned destination. A planned public procession from Chater Garden to Sun Yat-sen Memorial Park has taken a spontaneous turn in just this past hour. Demonstrators were seen going in the opposite direction before ending up in multiple locations. Now, a tweet from the Hong Kong Police Force says participants deviated from the approved locations and proceeded through thoroughfares. Earlier, the police have also said that while they are all right with protesters meeting at Chater Garden, they do not feel it's all right for the public procession to proceed, and they also prohibited the public meeting at Sun Yat-sen Memorial Park. Our correspondent Jeremy Ko is at that venue now to update us on this unexpected turn of events. Jeremy, this deviation, well, seems to have caught the police off guard. Any sense on where it's heading?
Well, certainly it's caught the police off guard. This is the second straight day where protesters have defied police. Protesters are supposed to apply for a letter of no objection from the authorities before they can proceed with the gatherings, the protests, and so on. But this is the only location where the police have allowed them to gather today. This is Chater Garden in central Hong Kong. Now, protesters had wanted to march from here to Sun Yat-sen Memorial Garden. That's about 2 kilometers west from here, but police had denied them the permission to march from here to Sun Yat-sen Memorial Garden on the grounds of public safety. And, at the start at 3 p.m. today, when protesters started gathering here, they tried to march out. They started chanting "Start, Start," and eventually they headed in the opposite direction instead. So Sun Yat-sen Memorial Garden is down this way, but instead protesters headed east towards Hennessy Road as well as Admiralty. Now, Admiralty, of course, was the scene of the Occupy Central protest in 2014. And some protesters were also spotted in locations including Causeway Bay, that's further down east, and also outside the police headquarters. And along Hennessy Road, we have reports saying that protesters are erecting makeshift barricades on the streets as well. So it's anyone's guess at this point in time where the protesters are about to head up. Some are saying that they will gather at Victoria's Park, but it seems like they're, massing in various locations around Hong Kong.
Jeremy, why were police so specific about not allowing this route to take place along Connaught and Pedder Street to Sun Yat-sen? What was the reason for that? And how are they going to control the situation now that it's branched off in all these directions?
Well, police have cited public safety as one of the reasons for not granting the permission for protesters to march from here to Sun Yat-sen Memorial Garden. Now, there was also the same reason cited yesterday in Yuen Long in northern Hong Kong, which descended into violence later in the night where protesters hurled rocks and bricks at police and other, substances. And police fired tear gas as well as pepper spray at the protesters. In turn, there was about close to 2,000 protesters were hurt, including at least 4 police officers as well. So it's hard to tell what will come out of today's protest. Clearly, police, what will it mean for the letter of no objection? Because police are, even though they are given no permission, protesters are, protesting in various locations around Hong Kong. So what does it mean for the rule of law in Hong Kong? Already we've seen police officers being vilified in Hong Kong. They've been accused by protesters of using excessive force against protesters over the last few weeks. And protesters today are chanting that police officers are breaking the law despite knowing the law. So we're seeing, the police officers police force in particular is pretty, unpopular amongst the protesters here as well. So what does it mean for Hong Kong going forward? At this point in time, it's hard to tell how the protest will pan out in the coming weeks. There's no end in sight for now.